9:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific for some of you. So
Actually,
again, as always, just
said,
a big thank you for being here.
With that said, Simos, we used to do this. We're at like brunch number 14 right now, and something that we went away from, and I saw a couple of people already let us know where they're signing in from. If everyone can do us a favor, because it excites us and we feed off the energy when we know we have friends coming in from Ottawa, when we know we have friends coming in from Kitchener. I'm here in Toronto at our headquarters. Simos is in Mississauga. Our boy Bobby Puim is coming in from Central Toronto. We got April coming in from West Vancouver. I just noted someone signing in from Qatar. Well, first and foremost, congratulations to you for the World Cup. I hope that everything goes through and the World Cup of soccer, football for our European friends, does play out in Qatar. But look at this, Simos, your hometown, Shelly from Red Deer, Simos.
I was speaking to Shelly not too long ago. Shelly, good morning. I was speaking to her live last weekend, right from the harbor. I spent the weekend on the boat last weekend. So
our friends James and Ada coming in from Markham. James and Ada, congratulations to you. You were one of the 25 REC insiders, one of the 25 REC insiders that got into the Westport project that we launched probably about 2 weeks ago exactly. I have Laura Elto Stewart waving me down, James, saying that answer her call. She wants to make sure you have all your questions answered. So Laura, yes, James, make sure you give us a thumbs up if you can. Shoot Laura a text message and just let her know when you can get on a call, because we want to make sure that part of that 10-day due diligence period, you've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's. So let's make sure we get through that.
Yeah, it was a huge week. The last couple of weeks have been massive. The last month really has been massive. We typically don't have projects that we feature to our audience that good so close in time. And I'm just really, I was shocked and I was thankful, and I was absolutely made to feel proud by both our clients for taking such massive action on their part, and the kahunas that it takes to make moves on a dime. But I mean, it does help that we have the analysis ready, obviously. But I also want to really mention our team. And I know that, like, we're obviously speaking to our audience and our clients and our listeners, and our students, really who follow kind of the education that we put forward. But I do want to mention to everybody, the only reason, and I'm going to speak for myself and Jazzy, that we can spend this kind of time doing these seminars, these brunches, all the content, the insanity of content that Jazz puts out, it wouldn't be nearly possible if we didn't have such a strong structure and such great and loyal people behind us. And I truly mean it. It's just, it was unreal to watch the synchronicity and kind of the beautiful flow that things have now taken in the back end to get you guys through to your deals. Doing 25 deals at a time is not a joke. It's insane.
If anybody had a question about consumer confidence, specifically in the Greater Toronto area, $15 million worth of real estate was sold and invested into 2 weeks ago on a Saturday morning. And so congratulations. But Simos, you couldn't have had a better segue, okay? Couldn't have been a better segue when you spoke about the team. There's somebody that's missing from our brunch today. It is the one and only Tyler Walbourne, Director of Real Estate Concierge Services, as well as our Air Traffic Controller. For everyone who knows Tyler, and in fact, there shouldn't be anybody who's watching or listening right now that doesn't know Tyler. Tyler and his beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous wife brought Nora Walbourne into this world. I think first thing yesterday morning, 12:35, both Nora as well as Cassandra, mommy, are doing very well. They're both healthy. Tyler is probably running around with his
Well, why don't I say this? Nora was born 11 pounds.
Well, I'm gonna let
Thank
you.
Thank you, dear God, for keeping Mama Cass safe. through such a crazy delivery.
Yeah.
And we're going to let Tyler, when he's back in a few weeks, show pictures to all of you. But we couldn't be more proud of our young Ty. And I'm sure actually more of you know Tyler than you do us, just to be honest.
Yeah, it's so I mean, he's our first point of contact. If anybody wants to send Tyler a congratulations email directly, just throw it in the subject so he just kind of gets to see it. I know how grateful and happy he would be to hear from you guys. His email address is Tyler, TYLERW, Tyler W at reccanada.com. It's Tyler W at reccanada.com. I know how much he would love to hear from you guys. And as we mentioned, the baby's name is Nora. Just a beautiful, beautiful baby. Looks more like his wife, and we're all thankful for that. That she looks more like him. But other than that, what are we going to be speaking about today, Simos? We're going to be doing a market update and a live Q&A. And Bobby, thanks for manning this for us, because between myself and Simos, very tough to do without you. And so for anybody who's asking questions, Bobby, can you just talk about that for a second? Where is this Q&A, and where's the section? Because I know we get a lot of stuff in the comments. We love the comments. Tell us how we're doing. Thumbs up, thumbs down, keep us going. We feed off the energy.
Guys, I'm just grabbing my coffee. I'll be right back. 1 second.
No worries, mate. No worries. So, Bobby, where is the Q&A section when somebody's looking at the screen?
Yeah, just in the bottom right-hand side. So the chat is on the left, closer to their mute and start and stop their video buttons, right? And down in the bottom right then is actually the Q&A. So just throw all the questions in there. Literally a couple of talk boxes that say Q&A on it for you.
Awesome. So I want you to make sure, just get your questions in there. Bobby's going to tee them up for us in about 20 minutes or so. Before that, the team thought it would be a great idea because this is a lot of the questions that we've been getting during the past week, 2 weeks. I was just doing a video on this late last night about what's happening in the current real estate market, kind of GTA focused. We can always get anybody who's watching or listening right now, we can always get you stats right across the country. We have the fortune of being connected with savvy realtors right across the country. But obviously, what REC Canada focuses primarily on is the Greater Toronto area and slightly into Southern Ontario. So we thought we were just going to talk about the facts, all the calls and emails we've been getting. We're going to dive into the numbers, the most current numbers when it comes to the stats here in the GTA. And what I really want to talk a lot about today, Simos, is how and why we look at specific market indicators. Because it's one thing to say, right? Because the media does you can say a good job or a bad job, whatever it is, whatever side of the coin you're on, but they talk more about headlines and in sales volume. We like to look at actually prices, average prices, market, the market indicators that we like to look at is days on market, months of inventory. So let's go right into it. If you guys are okay with that, Simos and Bobby.
I'm completely okay with
Absolutely.
it.
Okay, awesome. So let's just jump into that. Bobby, if you want to bring up and share the screen. This here is it's the one pager that we like to look at because it kind of tells the full story, specifically in the GTA. So let's go through it kind of line by line here, guys.
Jas, before you go on, this is the entire GTA, guys.
Great
so
point.
If you're from Vancouver, if you're from Edmonton, there is in Toronto, there's Toronto in the core, and then you have from east to west, you're looking at Scarborough, which is part of the Toronto Real Estate Board. You have Pickering, you have Markham, you have Richmond Hill, you have Brampton, Richmond Hill, then Vaughan, then Brampton, then Mississauga, surrounding Toronto. This is the GTA. We're talking about 7 million people are inclusive of this market. So to further, you can break this down right to a neighborhood. So what I want you guys to take from this today is how a big market is looked at, and what does that do for us as brokers, and how is Jas now, because Jas is going to go over this, how does that translate to usable knowledge? That's kind of the point that we're going to drive home. So if you're looking at a different market, ask your broker for this very breakdown.
I love what you said, because in the GTA, I think it's safe to say we probably have 300 to 350 micro markets, right? The Brampton detached home market is totally different than the Toronto Harbourfront market. And then the Toronto Harbourfront condo market is completely different than the distillery market, which is only a 6-minute drive, 5 minutes maybe on the streetcar. But the numbers will tell a totally different story. So as we, for the sake of time, we like to look at it from a GTA perspective. So what you'll hear a lot about in the media is, as I mentioned earlier, sales volume. You'll hear what we were hearing in the months of April and May. Sales volume was down 67%. And I think in the month of May, it probably went down by about,
80.
It was 80 at the start of April, was it, Simos?
Yeah.
87% or something like that. Sales.
Well, they sent the whole world packing home. You
Right.
weren't able to do anything.
And then, sorry, in May it was 67. So April 87, and then 67 in May. But that's sales volumes. That's how many transactions were happening, how many homes and condos were changing hands. It doesn't really tell the full story. So for now, the stats that we're going to be kind of talking about is from June. This is a full month now. The average sale price is what we like to look at, because people were emailing us back in April and May and saying, oh my God, my home went down, my condo went down by 87%. No, the volume of sales went down 87%. So right now, at the end of June, the average sale price is at about $890,000. Okay, if you compare that to last year of 2019, so if you go June 2020 compared to June 2019, that is up about 10%. It's up 9.9% to be exact. So the average sale price. So in the height of a pandemic, okay, we have still seen average sale price, values of homes and this is taking all types of homes into consideration. We're looking at detached homes, semi-detached homes, townhomes, condos. We were up in the greater Toronto area 9.9%. Before I go into the other numbers, let's elaborate a little bit about that, Simos, because a lot of questions that we got and why we decided to do this market update today was like, how does this happen in the height of a pandemic? Is this going to continue?
Yeah. When
is this going to stop? I think it's very important that we stop right now and talk a little bit more about that. What's your thoughts about that, my man?
So again, the REC has enjoyed an incredible amount of media attention because what we don't do at the REC is sensationalize bullshit, for the lack of a better word. So if I want to turn,
you can use words like that. We're good to go.
Good to go. Thank you. I do use them quite often. What I want, Bobby, I want you to go to all home types and just pay attention to total sales, active listings, and average price. So I'm going to break down how during a pandemic, the prices can go up. How in unprecedented times, because if I hear that word one more time, I'm going to jump off a bridge.
It's the word of 2020.
I just can't take it anymore. So it's very simple. Every market is different. Today, we're analyzing our local market. If anybody wants help analyzing their market, call me. All I need is this sheet, and I will tell you precisely how it's going to go down. And now all of you in the next 5 minutes will know how to do that because it's this simple. It's data-driven. Total sales, 8,700. 1%. Thanks, Paula. I appreciate you. Total sales, 8,700. So 1% less year over year. Okay. Active listings, though, tell a very different story. 14,000 active listings, which is 30% less listings, creating a constraint and a bottleneck when people are buying. Why are people buying during the pandemic? Because they need somewhere to live. They need to set up for September. They need to change jobs. They need to upsize, downsize, smart size. They need to live life. Money is the cheapest it has ever been. To top that, if anybody wants to use the word unprecedented, let's talk about the Bank of Canada rolling outside their building, the man himself saying that for the first time in history, The Bank of Canada governing body says interest rates of mortgages are not going up in the years to come. That has never happened in Canadian history. I don't even know if it's ever happened in other countries' histories.
We should just quickly mention about what kind of interest rate people are looking at, because we get a lot of questions.
Well, the government of Canada has it at 0.25.
And from a mortgage perspective, you can lock in an interest rate right now for 5 years, right around the 2.1, 2.2%
yes.
rate. Okay,
so if you ask a buyer, do you feel nervous buying? They're going to say, how could I possibly feel nervous if I'm locking money at 2% when inflation is at 2.6? So this isn't rocket science, guys. Listings are down 30%. Sales are happening at the same rate as last year, minus 1%. You don't think the average price is going to jump by 12? Is this, like, does everybody follow me? So this commentary that we do, and they're like, where is it going to go? The GTA specifically has a housing crisis, and it has for the last decade. We're not able to get enough development quick enough to meet the demand. It's truly that simple.
Now for me, and I appreciate that, Simos, for diving into it. So the next market indicator that I like to look at, that we like to look at, that will tell me pretty much the story that I need to that I need to see, is the months of inventory.
Huge.
So right now we sit in the GTA at 1.61 in terms of months of inventory. What does this mean? So we look at all the homes and condos for sale right now on the market. We look at how many sales happened the month before. And if no new homes were put on the market or condos, how long would it take for everything to be sold? And we're at 1.61. What does that tell us? That tells us that we're still in a seller's market in the GTA. Because that's determined by, if you go from zero, if your months of inventory are between 0 and 3 months, 3.5 months, but just for now, let's call it 3 months, you're in a seller's market.
A strong seller's market.
Especially at 1.61.
Like, this is a blazing seller's market.
In 15 years, the lowest I've ever seen it was at 1 month. Okay, so like exactly at 1.0. I don't think I've ever seen it less than that.
You have been April 2017, 0.65.
Was it 0.65? I was going to say the only time would have been possibly March of 2017.
March 2017. Yeah, it was March.
Before the Fair Housing Plan came in and the government had to intervene at that time. But just for now, let's say, okay, it's a very, very strong seller's market, as you mentioned, Simos. So 0 to 3, seller's market, 0 to 3 months. 3 to 6 months is a balanced market. That means it's pretty balanced from how many homes are on the market and how many sales are happening. When we go 6 months and above, then we're in a very strong buyer's market. Now, I can tell you, I have not seen a buyer's market, and we're getting questions, when is that coming? I mean, my opinion on that, and I would love to hear yours as well, Simos, but my opinion on that, not anytime soon in the GTA. I'm not speaking about Canada. I'm not speaking about other parts in Ontario, even in Southern Ontario, the Londons and the Hamiltons. I'm not speaking about any of that. Specifically in the Greater Toronto Area, I don't see any type of buyer's market coming anytime soon. The reason being, because Simos also mentioned the interest rates. The interest rates are so low right now. And we see some questions coming in to the comments. Maybe Bobby, if somebody does sneak into the comments with a question, I don't know if the technology allows for it, maybe copy it and paste it into the Q&A section. But for everyone else that's just coming on, we ask that you keep all your questions in the Q&A section. This way we know we get to your questions. But going back to the interest rates, never seen interest rates this low before. It allows more people to come into the market. But then we also just look at the demand, talking about housing crisis, and it's truly an epidemic. And I'm trying to use that word very, very lightly with all the content we do, but it truly is an epidemic because we have more people looking for homes and condos than we actually have housing. I'm also taking into consideration the fact that the borders are closed, because I know there's somebody watching or listening now saying, well, Jas, the borders are closed. Yes, the borders are closed right now, but I don't believe that they're going to be able to keep them closed as long as they are. The government's already passing bills to fast track visa applications to allow immigrants to come in. Now, for everybody who's watching, I want you to have the mindset as REC does, okay, in our opinion, you should look at it, look at real estate in a 10-year window. And I'll tell you why. Because see, pre-COVID, when we looked at the immigration and how many people were going to come into the GTA specifically, it was slated at 200,000 people year over year for the next 10 years. That's 2 million people. Now, why is it important to look at 10 years? Let's just say because the border, let's say the borders never open up again for the rest of the year till 2021, okay? We might not get the 2 million in 10 years. It might be 11 years. It's not that far off. Hence why you need to have that macro perception, that patience, that long-term mindset, because might not hit the 2 million in 10 years, but we'll hit it in 11. Am I a little bit more bullish and a little bit more optimistic? I think we're going to hit it in 8.5 years. I'm glad these things are being recorded because we can play it back and I can say, I told you so. I knew it was happening and it was going to happen 8.5 years to 9 years. Why? I just think the world needs more Canada. And people are looking at the country and saying, once again, you guys did it. How did you guys take care of your people? Well, it's just what we do here in Canada. How did you guys protect back in 2009, 2010? How did you guys protect yourself from the financial meltdown? Well, because we're very conservative as Canadians. We're very, very conservative. In fact, in Canada, just because you can walk, talk, and chew gum at the same time, you don't get a mortgage here. Everywhere else, it was a little bit easier to get a mortgage. So that's why I like to look at the months of inventory. But Simos, what's your thoughts on the months of inventory and where we're kind of headed in the foreseeable future?
Yeah. So I'll talk politics for a quick second, just because you pulled up some big topics, and they're all topics that I 100% identify and agree with. I do believe immigration is going to be stepped up in a big way because our government requires it at this point to undo some of the damage that has been caused by this pandemic. Our economy has taken a beating in manufacturing, exports, clearly, because we can't move product. The whole aluminum battle, like there is a bunch of stuff in the background that can affect an economy in a big way, and those things are being addressed. And a lot of the sins of our fathers, per se, are going to be wiped away by bringing in qualified, good people from around the globe. The government is taking steps right now, and I am not the biggest fan of our liberal government by any means, and I'm vocal about it, but I can say that they've done a lot of things very well too. I'm not I generally am not a hater. Like, I look at policy for what it does to our country, and I interpret it my own way. But like them reducing the criteria and putting out programs all over Asia and all over Europe to attract educated, qualified, white and blue collar workers to this country is going to serve us in such a big and long way, and it's inevitable. So just from that perspective, there's going to be a massive demand, and we all know, like, I'm not saying it for nothing, half of them are going to come to the GTA. Why? For reasons that are extremely clear: lifestyle, identity. If you're Indian, you want to go where the Indians are. You're going to go to Vancouver. You're going to go to Toronto. If you're Greek, more than likely, you're not going to Saskatchewan. Why? Because nobody speaks Greek in Saskatchewan. So again, like, for people go where people are. And then the government, what it does, because the government is also not stupid. They know where people want to go, but they're going to say, hey, do you want that tax incentive? Hey, do you want to make your business here in Canada? Great. Off to Saskatchewan, you go for 5 years. Serve the people of Canada, serve the tax base of the provinces that get less immigrants. So there's a lot of things happening in the background that are being done really well, and I like. Back to the GTA, because we're analyzing this market. What do I think about the months of inventory? Doug Ford, and again, I'm not the biggest fan of Doug Ford, but what he's doing for real estate and what he's doing for real estate investors, If you haven't paid attention, and I pay extremely close attention because this is what I love to do. It's my passion, is to know, like I need it in my heart. So if you see what he's doing, him and his posse, and you can call it, like, you can stand on two camps to say he's serving the interest of big money. You can also stand on the other side saying that he's fast tracking housing around transit all over our city, all over our province, approving and green lighting transit projects like no one has before. He's not asking, he's doing. So he's moving forward on massive things. And when it gets to the news, the councillors that would typically, or the members of parliament that would typically block him, the public opinion is so strong to make them happen that they can't do it. It looks like disservice. So as a real estate broker, as a real estate investor, as a person who just loves to see forward growth and progress in communities, I am a huge fan of that segment of his brain and of his action. So I'm not the guy that looks to save a single portion of a neighborhood because it means so much. I'm just not that guy. I believe if Forward Progress can take that down and plant 50 more trees down the street and create a new park and create a new identity with the people who live there today, there's always a nice thing to do. There's lots of ways to commemorate and live off the past, but a city like an area like the GTA needs forward progress. We're the urban capital of the country, and we have to move forward. We have to fix this.
I agree, my man. Simos for Prime Minister soon. I mean, that's just what we're going to have to start talking about.
Sorry. Months of inventory. It's going to stay around the same. It's going to go down even more.
I think so.
There's just going to be a lot of pent up demand for the fall market. Prices are going to shoot probably, again, like I'm going with at least 5% up by the end of the year minimum. That's my prediction. July 18th, 2020.
Love it. Average days on market. We get a lot of questions just from our insiders who are considering selling their principal residence. Our 33 realtors that we have here at REC Canada help with kind of. Look, I think we dubbed it, and you know what? I'm not going to take credit for it, Simos. It was you who kind of dubbed it the regular real estate that our team helps our clients with moving up and moving down. I call it smart sizing. And so we get a question, like I get it from my mom all the time. There's a for sale sign that came up and it sold in 2 hours, I think. Or there's another one down the street that took 2 months to sell. The average right now, as we sit in the Greater Toronto Area, homes and condos is at 25 days. So if you're thinking about selling your home, thinking about selling your condo, be prepared. Again, as Simos mentioned at the start, and as we say all the time, there's 300 to 400 micro markets. We need to look at. We can hone it right down to the street that your home 100%. Or condo is on. But on average, you're going to be on the market for about 25 days. That's important to know because that's how you're going to price your home. Based on that information, you now can price your home properly, because when you're selling, the two most important, I don't care about any of the stats, because unless you price your home first out of the gates at something that's attractive, and then the second point is if you don't have your home ready for sale, you're not going to get top dollar for it. You might actually scare people away. What we're seeing, 3 out of every place is listed is listed too high. Okay, 1 out of every 3 homes and condos is listed too low on purpose. It's set up to get multiple offers. Okay, something that we've been saying for 15 years is that the asking price of a home or an investment property or a condo of any piece of real estate, to me, it's anything in general. My mom taught me a long time ago to negotiate over an apple back home in India. But
and you made your mother proud.
I do. Hey man, my father was a taxi driver, mother was a factory worker. We learned how to kind of pinch pennies. But the asking price, when it really comes back to real estate, is irrelevant. It's irrelevant what people are asking. I wish everyone just asked $1. I'll tell you why. Because to actually, what you need to do when you're putting in an offer, or you're thinking about buying a piece of real estate, you got to look at what it's worth. What's the value of it compared to what something similar has sold? So if we're looking at a condo listed at $500,000, I don't care. Don't tell me what the asking price is. Please tell me what a comparable condo, 1-bedroom plus den with a bathroom, facing south with parking, without parking, sold for in the last 3 months. Now I know value. For anybody who's ever bought a used car, for example, the way that it's determined, value is determined, is by the black book value. There's actually literally a black book like the size of this, maybe a little bit bigger than my wallet, that determines
real life
that determines the year, the kilometers, and the range of how it's upkept, the maintenance that was done on it. It will give you a range. It's worth 32,000 to 37,000 if it's kept in this range, and so on and so forth. Real estate's no different. We can just give you the value of any area. Now, when you're looking at a commercial property and or maybe a multiplex, Simos, why don't you touch on the income approach and how we determine value when it comes to the income approach?
Yeah, and I mean, I did really want to talk about multifam today, and I'll definitely touch on that. Do we want to maybe take this off the screen now? The big, yeah.
So the whole time nobody can see us? Hang on. I need to know the technology for a second. So Bobby, the whole time nobody could see us when you had that screen on?
No, I think some people can see us.
Okay.
Just some of them, but you're always on your phone, so you can only ever see one thing. Yeah.
I was doing a lot of things here in the studio. Okay, sorry, Simos. I apologize, brother. I apologize.
No worries. Bobby, please remind me, we have some very important announcements today surrounding our income property agents and team. I definitely want to let everyone know a few of the massive action items in that new website that they can actually look for, set up searches, and really customize things. So just let me bring that up after.
Absolutely.
But it ties into this. That's why. So income properties, guys. And I'm not talking about a 2-door residential investment because that's still going to tie directly to the market of comparables.
Yeah, Simo, keep it focused, brother. Go 5 doors and above because that's where you're going to really use that income property. Income approach, right?
We're gonna use a 5-door property, a very common investment, which is the first step in commercial real estate investing. Commercial real estate investing, it is not appraised and or valued based on the bricks and mortar, based on its good looks, based on much more other than its actual income bearing and income producing bottom line. We speak in cap rates. We speak in net income versus gross income. Gross income is all the rents that come in. So let's say you have 5 units at $2,000 a door. You have $10,000 a month. You have $120,000 a year. That's your gross income. If there's parking revenue, you add the parking revenue. If there's laundry revenue, you add the laundry revenue. If you have an advertising billboard on the top of the apartment building, you have that revenue. So take on all the revenue that you could possibly have. You're going to start taking away your expenses now. The expenses that you're going to take from your gross revenue are going to be common area, electricity, gas, etc. There's going to be your maintenance. There's going to be your contractors. There's going to be your any expense, your property tax, any expense that's tied to the building, not to your financing, not your mortgage payment. Any expense that's tied to the actual property needs to come off. And that includes the repairs and maintenance. It includes the water. It includes everything you need to do. Just whatever you can think that you've had to spend a dime on, other than financing, needs to be taken off the gross income. So let's call it, for example, in this case, we have gross income of $120,000 because we're going to keep the math easy. And you have all your expenses come to $20,000. Because you're the best managing person of all time. You have no expenses. The world loves you. So let's just keep 100K of net revenue, of net income. Depending on the market, and this is where the art comes in. This is where the experienced broker comes in. This is where the savvy investor makes decisions because not everybody's created equal. Not everybody has the same risk tolerance, and not a single second person has the same exact goals as you do. With that being said, every market trades at different prices. $100,000 worth of income is the constant, the same. So if I have a property in Red Deer, Alberta, I have a property in Vancouver, I have a property in Toronto. All three properties produce the exact same net income. They are no different. I would like to ask the audience now to participate. Do we feel that they're going to be worth the exact same amount of money because they're commercial real estate? And this is a trick question. So I want you to think of this carefully. Vancouver, Edmonton, Toronto. 3 properties, 3 cities. Same net income, same exact building. Give me the value approximate in each market, starting with Vancouver, Edmonton, Toronto. I'll give you 30 seconds to pipe in on the chat. And then I'm going to get into exactly why and how they can be different, if that was a leading answer.
As we give them the 30 seconds, we Bobby, for next time, we need that Jeopardy music to play while everybody...
Oh, yeah. I've dropped the ball. Without Tyler, I'm useless. We need Tyler back. Baby Nora, get home, girl.
We love you, Bobby Puim.
All right,
come on, guys. Let's get some more answers in here. I know some people are chiming in the comments. Again, Simos, why don't you do a quick recap of your question just to remind everybody what your question was?
Yeah, so the question is exact same property, 3 very astronomically different markets, same property, same bricks, same income, same everything. Are they worth the same in different markets because it's commercial real estate and it's based on income? Or is it different because there's different expectations and different risk profiles in each market? Gloria, great job. I'm looking for you guys to really give it a quick answer. But the bottom line is I'm going to be substantiating my answer to you, and this is going to be of great benefit to every single one of you as you analyze different markets and always investing where the returns are best. So I'm going to start with Vancouver and Toronto, and I'm going to lead into Edmonton. Vancouver and Toronto are very similar markets. And what makes them similar? So as a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you that Toronto is a stronger market, even though Vancouver is more expensive. So there is a difference between expensive and strength. Expensive means there's scarcity. Simple and plain, scarcity. No matter what, you can close the borders of Vancouver. You can open the borders of Vancouver. It just depends how crazy is it going to get. It's an expensive market, but it's not. The Vancouver market is not substantiated with the amount of employment, consistent immigration, and everything else that the Toronto market provides. The Vancouver market provides exclusivity, beautiful views, a tremendous lifestyle, and it's just it's a different market. It's like comparing New York to Los Angeles. Very different. Night and day, equally as expensive. Toronto and Vancouver, same thing. Toronto is the economic engine of the country. It's grittier, nowhere near as amazing and beautiful as Vancouver, but it has the strength and all the muscle behind it to keep powering through crisis, world crisis, and not being affected. Being affected, but not being dilapidated or always having that risk. With that being said, we have Edmonton to talk about. Edmonton is in the province of Alberta, and Alberta economy is founded. The principles of it are in the energy sector, in the commodity sector. So is BC. We're talking about natural gas, forestry, and oil. And those markets are some of the most volatile because they're controlled by a clique like the OPEC, where they can open the taps, they can close the taps, they price fix, they don't price fix. It's insanity. So like if you want to make sense out of the commodity market, you can go to university for the next 20 years and spend the 20 years after that trying to figure it out. But what I do know is it's a volatile market no matter how you cut it and dice it. I've been in Canada since 1995. I lived in Alberta for 5 years. I saw it in front of my eyes. I'm still a survivor and a victim and a survivor of the Alberta market. Although I've never lost a penny in real life, on paper, I'm down $250,000 on the condo that I did buy in Red Deer. I will tell you that although demand and the fundamentals of real estate are protecting me, it's a volatile market. Back to the multifamily, because this is the key here, that no matter what market, same income. In Toronto, that $100,000 income is going to be calculated at a 4 cap, a 4% capitalization rate, meaning that to get $100,000, I have to spend $2.5 million. So your property that is producing $100,000 in net income, nothing to do with financing, is going to cost me $2.5 million. In Red Deer, Alberta, or Edmonton, whatever I used, you're going to be looking close to between an 8 and a 10 cap. Because for somebody to invest in Alberta where there's more risk and volatility, they need to spend less money acquiring the property. So this becomes a matter of risk profile. Nothing to do with the return, because the return is the same. The money is the same. This is where I want people to really understand it. So in Red Deer, we're just going to use an easy number, 10 cap. It's not, it's lower. It's a decent market. But let's use just 10 cap for fun, which is a 10% capitalization rate. The property that in Toronto would cost you $2.5 million, in Red Deer will cost you $1 million. In Vancouver, because there's only 7 buildings in the whole freaking half the city, it might be a 3.5 cap, which will cost you almost $3 million for the same income, guys, because the likelihood of the property dropping in price or not appreciating is slim to none, because there is demand for rental, because the rentals keep driving up because of scarcity, and those bricks become worth more and more and more. So it is the income approach, but the way it's valuated is going to be, you're going to be using metrics such absorption, which is the vacancy rate. It's going to be on the cost of maintenance. In Toronto, you're going to pay $300 for a plumber to come and see you, and Edmonton, you're going to pay $150. So all those things factor in, and then you get spit out with a recipe and with a product that only you and your broker, who you should be able to trust for a true opinion, can sit down and analyze it properly and ensure that it is made for you.
Awesome job, Simos. Really appreciate you kind of really diving in to the micro of the income approach, and also just talking about the other areas. Look, in our subjective opinion, GTA is the best place to invest. In our objective opinion, GTA is probably one of the safest places to invest, because you have that long-term appreciation and you have the steady flow of tenants. So before we go and dive into Q&A, which we're going to do in the next minute, I wanted to do a quick recap, because I saw some REC insiders just getting on. My boy Andre Matos and his beautiful, beautiful wife Luciana just got on. We're having some Wi-Fi issues. I know you're having some family time, Andre, in Blue Mountain, and thank you for joining us on so many of our webinars. And so, quick recap about the GTA real estate market in the month of June. So June 2020 compared to the month of June 2019, we saw values appreciate approximately by 10% for all average, 9.9% to be exact, for all types of homes. Okay, months of inventory, which tells us the story if we're in a seller's market, balanced market, or a buyer's market, was at 1.61, which tells us we're in a very, very strong seller's market. And the reason for those two things, why we're in a seller's market and why we saw appreciation at around 10%, believe it or not, in the height of a pandemic, is because of the fundamentals. Interest rates are historically low, never seen before. I mean, I always tell the story in 2006, bought my first home, got my 5-year fix. 2006 was my first home. Bought a home, 5-year fixed interest rate was 4.5%, and I thought I robbed the bank. I thought I robbed the bank at 4.5%. We were throwing parties, and Indians throw big parties for anybody who wants to know. We were so excited, so happy. And now to get that 5-year fixed rate at 2.2, 2.3% is incredible. The other fact is that we just have always had a housing crisis here in the GTA for the longest time. A lot more people looking for homes than actual homes going on the market, because it's tough for people to go further out in the Southern Ontario market. For anybody who's listening and watching outside of our province and outside of this country, it's that 50-mile radius, 75 kind of kilometer radius. You want to stay in, because we do have traffic congestion here. We have traffic problems. You want to live very close to where your family, friends are, and where you work. And hence why people don't sell their homes that quickly to get out of those areas. And so that's why there's not many homes on the market, but we have a lot of people coming in, and that just drives values up, whatever which way the screen is facing. That makes values go up. You mentioned about Simos and Bobby, about our division when it comes to multiplexes and income properties. We're very excited to have, for a very long time, we've been focusing on income properties via resale condos, 2 to 3 doors, and then obviously really anything up to about 25 doors. And so what we wanted to throw out there, because both Simos and I get a lot of requests to get on coffees, and what are virtual coffees now, specifically because of the pandemic, it's about a 20-minute conversation. 20 to, both of us like the sound of our own voice, so we definitely go a little bit longer than 20 minutes. But it was put into place. It's our real estate action plan. Okay, it's our real estate action plan where we're going to sit down with 20 minutes, 40 minutes to get a clearer picture of what you're looking into accomplishing in your long-term goals within real estate. We're going to show you how we might be able to help, because we can't help everyone, okay? It, again, takes 20 minutes to 40 minutes. And where you're going to go to get that set up, right now, you can go to coffeewithrec.com. It's coffeewithrec.com, okay?
rec.com.
If you did it live, you would get that cup. Anybody who does sign, we will make sure our boy Luke the Phenom Leasing will make sure that he gets that sent out to you, as well as the mugs once you set up a coffee. Again, it's 20 minutes, 40 minutes to get a clearer picture of what you're looking into accomplishing. We'll show you how we might be able to help. We'll get a real estate action plan done, okay? If you go to coffeewithrec.com, the team will get all that coordinated, and we'll have that taken care of with myself or Simos. If you're ready, Bobby, before I launch something that's very exciting to our REC insiders, I do want to take the Q&As. Why don't we jump into the Q&As? And I want everyone to stick around right till the end, because we have something that is going to blow your mind coming up in the very, very near future. It's the first time we are launching this and making it vocal. Some of you maybe did receive a call or a text from me if you were in conversations with me of recent when it came to the Westport project. But we have something coming up in about, I'm going to say 3.5 weeks, I believe it is, that is never been done before. It's the first ever blank. I'm not going to tell you yet. We're going to jump into Q&A first. Go, Bobby.
From Julie earlier on today, what are the best land development projects to invest in right now?
You want to take that, brother? That's you.
Yeah. So land development projects, guys. We don't do land banking, and we don't do capital raising for land developments. We count, just like we tell you every single day, to build your team. We've built our team. And the reason we've gotten to where we've gotten in this game is because we literally hold hands and or stand on people who are equals in experience, due diligence, and integrity, or better than us in all three. So you don't get better by hanging out with people that are lesser than you. You get better and you up your game by being around people that are phenomenal at what they do and hardworking. Can I have some fruit?
Yeah,
Sorry, buddy.
come on, man.
I'm trying to structure a sentence over here.
I know, but I'm just
I
showing.
know that there's donuts in that office too. You can show those off as well.
They came from Mississauga, by the way. They're Krispy Kremes, delicious.
We're not going to show Krispy Kreme to everyone.
Okay.
Continue.
Going on to what I was saying. We count on our friends at Greybrook, who are Canada's leaders in land development investment for retail investors. Leaders. Forget institutional because they're massive. But like for the everyday Joe looking to get into land development, you are not going to find a stronger, more serious, with track record like Greybrook. And I've been speaking with Peter like literally up to yesterday because we're going to be launching some very exciting things in the next 30 days or so. But they're tremendous. Our partners at Equiton, phenomenal. Cliff Fraser, their CFO, I speak with him on the regular basis. I personally am an investor in the REC as an investor in both these firms. These aren't people that we talk about and not take action on. We are actively involved with these people. Western Wealth, which we actually met through Keyspire. We met them through Keyspire when we were at one of the summits, and they were someone new that Keyspire brought in, and we met them. And after looking into their background and their returns and their track record, absolutely ridiculous track record. Like, it is insanity what they've delivered to their clients. So what do you think the first thing myself, who works in business development for the REC, did? Hi, Cynthia. Can we be friends? Thanks. Really appreciate it. Can you share a little bit more with my audience? Thanks, Cynthia. Appreciate it. So we partner with who we believe are the best in the business. And there are many other options. There are syndicated mortgages. There is LPs and local development in projects. And our good friend Carmen Campanero out of Pro Funds, they're actually getting into development. So you can get into other options as well. But by no means are you restricted or pigeonholed to 3 or 4 different people. These are the people that we decided are not going to hurt us or our clients. These are the people that I don't need to worry about every launch that they do. Is this an okay one or not? The people behind the due diligence are 15,000 times smarter than I am. So I like that. That makes me sleep at night. So if you're looking for that land development component, that passive investment component, I'm happy to have a conversation with anyone in our audience and to refer you off to somebody who I know is going to do a tremendous job and have respect for you and your capital.
And really just quickly to add to that, when it comes to land development, what I think everybody should just understand, and all the names that Simos mentioned, I mean, those are very close friends of the REC. However, I want you to always, if any opportunity we talk to you about specifically, i.e. any of the condo projects, is I always want you to know the advantages and the things that you always need to consider. Specifically with land development deals, understand that there's zoning, there's bylaws, there's permits, I think it's safe to say, in my opinion, in my experience, that you're probably looking at 90% of the time, there's a delay at something.
Sure.
And so that if you were signing up for a 4-year term, you might need to just be okay to understand that if this goes 5 years, I'm okay with it. And from an investment perspective, it always works out better for you because the longer that you hold on to your investment, the higher your return is going to be. But I want you to know what you're getting yourself into.
I couldn't agree with you more. Can I take a quick step in the income property search and services?
Sure.
We're for our existing clients that have had all these coffees. Thank you. You've been placed in queue with our commercial services for multiplex. You've been put in queue for a 3-door property in Oshawa. You've been put in queue for this, that, or the other. Myself and Bobby, right this second, are training 4 of our senior brokers to go from high-end residential performance to be able to take on more income property analysis. What does that mean to our clients just like you? If you decide to come into the GTA for an income property, you're not going to have to wait 3 months to work with me personally. You're going to be able to be paired up hand in hand with one of my senior guys, 10 years plus with the REC, that has sold hundreds or thousands of homes. to work one-on-one. So instead of you reaching out to your broker reaches out to you, says, hi, Mr. So-and-so, you had a coffee with Simeon 2 months ago. You've been in queue. I'm going to call you and I'm going to tell you that I'm pairing you up with Cheyenne, with whoever the case may be, and what you can expect. And what you can expect is that my broker, my senior guy, is going to identify, analyze, and present options to you to be able to actually get in the market ASAP, to follow the market, look at the market, feel the market before you put that capital down and close on it immediately. Exactly what Jas and I do for 25 units on a mass scale via the brunch or via the live webinars, we're going to do on a one-on-one basis with you for the income resale approach. Because a lot of you want to put money now, not close in 5 years. I get it. You want the cash flow, you want the appreciation, you want the liquidity of being able to get out of the investment when you want. Great.
Do you know how many people want to do both?
Of course, almost every one of our clients does.
Yeah.
Almost every one of our clients does. Literally. Yeah. We don't have many people who haven't done both. So what we're trying to fix is really and truly, we're trying to be able to do it faster with strong people that we trust as much as we trust ourselves. So I don't have to be on the showing. I know the person who looked at it knows that market inside out. Like we're talking about Marlene, we're talking about Mark and Michelle, like in Parkdale. Like they've spent 25 years there. They know every crevice of the sidewalk. That's what I'm talking about. So it's very exciting, and we're putting a lot of work to turn these residential realtors into investment machines. So
and I want everyone to understand, when an agreement of purchase and sale needs to be negotiated, you're looking at two people here right now that are the founders here at REC Canada. An agreement of purchase and sale does not get negotiated with either my signature, like to get check off on it, or Simos's, for anyone that works with our company. So I just wanted to confirm that as well. Yes, you'll be working with senior staff that will be able to do this on their own, but because you're an REC insider, either myself or Simos has to sign off on that deal, because
100%.
Look, I mean, I'm just going to say it. Like, we're the sharks. We're the guys who are going to negotiate the best deal possible. So for anyone who is working with our team members, I want you to be very, very, very comfortable and have the solace in knowing that we will have to sign off. One of myself or Simos will sign off on that agreement of purchase and sale. If you guys can maybe take a look, there's a whiteboard around. There's one here, there's one there. And the reason we have that is that's how we negotiate deals. We put up and we consider, what is our strategy going to be?
It's the war room. You're sitting in the war room right now.
100%. And so the way to get started though, is to take a step back and go to coffeewithrec.com so we can understand what you're trying to accomplish. Guys, there's no cost for this. We're not selling anything. We have nothing to sell. It's just a conversation. I think 80% of people already have had a coffee with us at one time, that initial conversation, but it's time to do it again, because we need to realign our goals now. We need to realign our objectives right now. And so both Simos and I are very, very bullish on getting coffees done with you guys in the next coming weeks. You're going to go to coffeewithrec.com and you're just going to be, our schedules open up and you can pick a time. I think we're booking starting July 27th to about August 8th or something like that. That's the time frame as we wrap up some stuff, and we already have coffees booked from the past. I think the schedule right now is open starting July 26th to 27th. Don't quote me on that exactly, but you'll see that. Some more Q&A, Bobby boy.
Absolutely. Sounds like Yoram is having some issues with a mortgage approval. He says, my issue is the approval for a mortgage, but not my ability to pay the monthly mortgage payment. How do I get over this hurdle?
The easiest thing is to email us right now at info@reccanada.com. email us right now, info@reccanada.com. Let us understand a little bit more about your situation, and we will put you in touch with a broker. However, I want to bring more context. I want to bring more value to the whole viewership and listenership. And what I would say to everyone is, we've seen this. It's I don't know if the REC insider that you mentioned is self-employed, has 5 doors already, 6 doors, 7 doors. Are we looking for residential financing? Are we looking for commercial financing?
Yeah, mortgages are too personal to be able to comment on a high level scale.
I can't kind of give a blanket answer other than we just need to get you out to more independent mortgage brokers, or someone specifically at one of the banks, the red one, the green one, the blue one, whatever the other colors are nowadays. We need, because they might have an expertise and and they might specialize in 6-door apartment buildings, 6-door multiplexes, for example. So we just need to make sure that we understand what you guys are looking for specifically. But when it comes to
Jazzy, you sound like Donald Duck, buddy.
Actually, he's one of my favorite. He was actually my favorite growing up. Is that better?
No. Just shake it around. Something's up. It happens almost every time, like around this time. Your mic is maybe you're blazing your mic too hot.
I'm gonna sign it. You guys take care of it. Continue with the
Sounds
Q&A.
good.
I'll be back.
Awesome.
Were we at the mortgage? So for the mortgage guys, anybody struggling with mortgage, the only thing that we can tell you for certain is if you send us an email, we'll connect you with some of the best brokers in the country. We have brokers all over Canada, and most of them are licensed to serve all over Canada. So again, send the email out. Jazz always directs that right through our air traffic control, which is our beautiful Tai, who's off for the next couple of weeks. But we do have, of course, arrangements to fill those shoes. Send the emails in. We'll connect you to somebody who's going to look at your situation and give you actual solutions. They'll take care of you. Don't worry.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, awesome.
Perfect.
So, next Q&A, brother.
Yeah, from our boy Mitch. Every weekend, he's never missed a brunch, Not even one time.
No, he hasn't.
He probably logs in while we're not around too.
One thing to Mitch, you better have started producing content, because you called me a little while ago. And so to all the other REC insiders as well, let's put Mitch on the spot and make him produce content around looking for joint venture partners and his story about investing into real estate.
And a shout out to Mitch quickly, because he does broker wine, and he is one of my amazing wine suppliers. So if anybody needs a good bottle of wine, reach out to Mitch Premisar. He'll hook you up. He hooks me up with many.
He actually just came back in the Q&A real quick, left us another note, says this weekend, getting it going. Thanks, Jazz. So on it. Good man. He's asked us, guys, are there specific rules that block investors from using RRSP money in pre-construction condo investments with your opportunities?
Repeat the question. Sorry.
Are there specific rules that block investors from using RRSP money in pre-construction condo investments like your opportunities?
Yes.
So you can't use your RRSP money unless you're a first-time investor / first-time home buyer. What we can do is we can use the first-time home buyers plan. Even though you might be thinking about renting it out, there's ways of getting around the ability to actually use RSP money to invest into a pre-construction condo. But in general, you can't use registered funds for a pre-construction condo. It's cash or lines of credit or home equity line of credit.
Nailed it. Gentlemen, that's it.
I love it. There was a question that came into the comments that I wanted to also address. I can't remember the name, so please, I apologize for that up front. It was in regards to like specifically the condo market and the stats around the condo market in the GTA.
Yeah, I've got it right here. He said, would you be able to share some info? This is from Sean. Share some info and light on condo sales and prices, especially for investments. And then he gets specific CO1 and W06 areas if you have the info and details.
Love it. We'll send you kind of a report specifically, Sean, on CO1 and W6. Here's what I'll tell you, and for all the investors, this makes me like, I'm so excited. That's why when I saw it, I was like, oh, I didn't even really comment, or Simos didn't comment about the condo market specifically. The last 5 years, this is just black and white numbers, guys, black and white numbers. The last 5 years, the condo market in the Greater Toronto Area has appreciated by 50%, 50. 50% in the last 5 years. That's 10 years compounding year over year. So for everyone, and I know it's not a lot of the REC insiders because you guys just don't think like that anymore. You're part of the family where condos are not good investments. The facts tell us totally different. Myself and Simos have obviously created and are in the process of creating wealth through that type of investment. And now it's not only pre-construction, it's resale condos that are built. We do at least 85 to 95 resale condos for investors as well. Something that you can move in and start investing right away in. And the reason we like it is because it's become the new first-time tenant place to live in. Tenants want to live in condos, so they don't have to deal with all the maintenance, okay? And majority of condos are built in and around where there's a lot of jobs and there's a lot of transit. And it's why we have seen, Sean, a 50% increase in the last 5 years with that type of investment. We love it also because there's just a flock of tenants. One tenant leaves, you bring in another one. Like, it's never really like, oh my God, tenants are leaving. Half the time we're like, please leave, tenant, please leave. You've been great, but please leave. Let me bring somebody else in so I can increase the rent on them. So overall, very healthy, very, very healthy, specifically in the C1 and W6 areas that we know intimately, both those districts. And for everyone else that's watching, Sean is just talking about, when he says C1, that's a specific district, which is right in the downtown core.
That's Toronto's core.
Exactly. And W6 being in Toronto as well, but just further outside of the downtown core.
Couple more questions just popped up. Gentlemen, what new project is coming up which you would recommend? I want to buy! Exclamation point. Your Rouge.
Oh, your Rouge. Great, good. Thanks for the question. I just spoke to you not too long ago. Simos, obviously you have some projects that you're out on the streets doing the due diligence on. You'll bring it back to headquarters here. And then myself, you, Cheyenne, and Laura, Bobby and Luke will tear it apart and see what's not going to be good. So I know there's a few coming up, but what are you, probably a couple of weeks away out?
We're working on two majors. One of them is right downtown Mississauga.
Yeah.
That's the one that's really exciting us right now. We don't have the final numbers. So the reason, well, I'll tell you the locations: Dundas and Highway 10, which is a regentrifying neighborhood. There's going to be a lot of growth there. What we're working on right now with that project specifically is we need to look at what they're going to be launching the prices at. So as long as we can bring it into the room, everything else checks out by 100. Do we believe in the growth? Do we believe in the neighborhood? Do we believe in the demographic? Do we believe in transit? It's right at the LRT. Everything is checked off. It's
we just
be a
saw what
matter
happened in Port Credit. We just saw what happened in Port Credit, just 10 minutes south. Is it? I would say Port Credit is 10 minutes south.
Probably on the LRT, 10 minutes. In a car, it's probably 6.
And I just saw values appreciate with the new price list at Port Credit by $20,000.
Yes.
Like
so that's one. So again, we're not like, we can't talk about it like it's done, because it's not. So when the price list comes in and we run it against market rents, absorption, and all the due diligence we do on the price side, only then will we go bananas, because we are going to go bananas talking about it if it makes sense. If the price comes out too high, or if anything gets screwed with, it's going to be dropped. So we have one, but that's really close to being finalized. So Mississauga, Dundas, and Highway 10, our amazing friends at Greybrook are presenting us with an opportunity at on Shepherd between Yonge and Bayview. Again, we're stuck at the numbers. We're waiting to see what that comes out. We know who the builder is, and they're insane, reputable, one of the best builders in the GTA. We all know about Greybrook, so it's not going to be a matter of reputation, amenities, or building. It's going to be a matter of price, where the rentals are, where the rentals are going. So no matter what the project is, no matter who's behind it, my client is you, and your interests are my interests, because I'm going to be the guy renting it for you. So I can't put something in my funnel that I'm going to have to pedal backwards on. So, sorry, go ahead, Jesse.
I was gonna say, when you speak about the numbers and pricing, it's so important for everybody to understand. We don't go in to a developer and speak about the prices that they're thinking about coming out with. We don't care what they're coming out with, because we're going in there and saying, we have approximately, yes, Gregory, you heard that properly. And Gregory, you are in that project, okay? And congratulations to you. You did. If you haven't spoken to Laura yet, she'll be calling you shortly. Prices, yes, have gone up by 20K on that project. Yeah, I just did. Great. That's awesome. Congratulations to you. I'm talking about when we go into a developer, we're going in there and speaking about wholesale buying power. See, yeah. Because we had 25 people that were interested. Originally it was 39. Okay, but we weren't able to satisfy all the units. There's a reason why you want to get into and reserve a reservation form or a worksheet when we ask you to, as quickly as you possibly can, and then take your time. Okay, but when we speak with a developer, we speak about purchasing power, wholesale buying power. And so it's very, very important for you to understand that. Go ahead.
I wish I could share, like I was just thinking, I wish I could share my conversation on WhatsApp with some development, like the one in the West End, Bobby, that we were just negotiating on.
I was gonna say not yet, because we might piss them off, and then they might not, like, we might piss off.
Exactly. So I'm not sharing it. I'm not dropping names. But you were saying
the incentives.
but you were saying that we don't care about what price they come out at. We care about our price for our investors. What Jas means by that is, like, literally, we're gonna go and say, so let's say, for example, the Mississauga deal. Okay, we're in the middle of our due diligence. Within the next week, I'm going to have all my data back from CMHC, where I look at average rents over the last 20 years, what's happening. We're going to go to the facility of Mississauga to see what's planned for the other corners around it, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to run a pro forma. But if you reverse the pro forma, it's going to spit out a price that it should be at to deliver the return that we want for our investors. Does everybody understand that? I don't start with their price. I start with the rents in the neighborhood, the return that I need to deliver to you to be happy, and that's going to spit out a number. If that purchase price is below what the developer is offering, we have an issue. If the purchase price is above, we're getting a screaming deal. Enter Westport, enter the Taylor, enter the Tretti, enter Nordic, enter Zora. But if that purchase price is below, we're not able to touch the project. So we can love it as much as we want, but unless the developer is willing to play ball with numbers that work, it's going to be one of the 90 opportunities that we do due diligence on that don't make it to that top 10 list. And that's just the way it is.
I was saying that we were going to wait till the end to share some very, very exciting news. We obviously started this brunch today with the most exciting news that we could ever give you, which is Tyler and Cassandra bringing in Nora into this world that just fills up our hearts. But I also wanted to share the next piece of exciting news. Bobby, if you can put up the domain name, therealestatemarathon.com. It's therealestatemarathon.com.
Notice my slow run. I'm pacing
www.therealestatemarathon.com. It's the first ever 12-hour. Yes, you heard that properly. It's a 12-hour real estate marathon. It's Saturday, August 15th, 9 a.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern. We are going to do a webinar platform, i.e. like this, and we're going to go for 12 hours. We're going to have a couple of breaks, obviously, to eat, get some water, and make sure that we have all of our speakers lined up, coming up, like who's coming on next. We have approximately 22 speakers going to be joining us on this marathon. We're going to go kind of lightning round with them, okay? It's not going to be long form as like Simos and I do now, okay? We're going to go about 15 minutes or so with each speaker, okay? And we're going to do this for 12 hours on Saturday, August 15th. On that day, the couple of the exclusive opportunities that Simos is looking at right now, coming and he'll be bringing that back to headquarters here. We'll be doing the due diligence. We will definitely be launching one exclusive opportunity. I like to personally only have one on our table because I just feel like we can go all in and get that purchasing power. If you go to the realestatemarathon.com right now, you could reserve your seat. It's absolutely free. There is no cost. I ask that you do share it with a friend, though, someone that we haven't possibly met. It will be filled with all real estate content. We'll be speaking about investing from the perspective of a legal point of view, a finance point of view. We'll be bringing on experts on investing and how to invest your RRSPs. As I mentioned, we will also be bringing an exclusive opportunity from a pre-construction condo perspective.
But
We'll
tenants,
also
landlords,
I'm just in the process of bringing on the ex-adjudicator at the landlord-tenant board. We'll be speaking about that. In the notes section, if you can go to the realestatemarathon.com, your name, your phone number, your email, the usual. But in the notes section, if there's a certain topic that you want us to cover, I ask that you just throw it in there. We'll reverse engineer it. Is it a specific topic or a specific speaker that you're looking for? We've been fortunate enough to do a little over 113 podcast episodes now, and we brought on some of the industry leaders right across the country and right across the continent, and we're lucky enough to be able to reach out to really anybody in the world. I have a sick team in terms of, and a very diligent and consistent team reaching out to people. So if there's a topic and or speaker that you want us to try to go get, just put that in the notes section and we'll reverse engineer it. There's a long weekend coming up in between. It essentially is going to be the next time you see us on a live webinar. Unless you went to coffeewithrec.com, then you get us one-on-one. It's a different story.
What is that? It excites you so much. Unless.
I love the real estate marathon. I'm so excited, guys.
My man.
You're going to see the room transformed. You're going to see a lineup of speakers that's going to blow your mind. And obviously for our REC insiders, there is no cost for it. Simos, what do you have to say about it, my man?
Yeah, I just remember our initial conversation. I was driving down to the city for a meeting, and Jas gives me a call first thing in the morning. He goes like, "You are not going to believe what I thought about." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, Bro. What do you think, he goes, of an all-day real estate apalooza? I was like, what? He goes, all day, 12 hours, smash, real estate. I was like, you know what? I love it. I absolutely love it. What did you have in mind? And we just went down the tangent. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, Jas was saying invite someone. The whole point, like half of you are asking us, how do we do a joint venture? How do we do more with the existing capital and the existing strength that we have? The only way to grow, guys, is by providing value to others. Mm-hmm. Me and Jas and Bobby and the entire team, we grow every year, and it's not rocket science. Why? Because we're vested in creating value in your life. If you want to do the same, if you want somebody to say, I want a joint venture partner, you're not going to get a joint venture partner if your partners and the people around you don't understand what you're doing. If they're not breathing the same air you're breathing, if they're not swimming in the same waters you're swimming, bring the people that you think you want to work with. They're going to hear from the best people in the business. We're going to bring all the best people we know. If you have recommendations, just like Jas said, tell us who you want on there. We'll get them. Don't say Bill Clinton or Donald Trump. I mean, those might be hard to reach. But
we might get them. We might get them.
But we might. Yeah.
Make real estate investing great again.
Yeah, I love that. And I appreciate you kind of go down memory lane there. And
it was a cool morning.
Joint ventures. We're going to have a topic on joint ventures. And as somebody asked, is it going to be Obama? Please, I've been trying to get Michelle Obama on the podcast. No promises. I'm just putting it out there because I know the universe likes to work like that, like attracts like. With that said, joint ventures, we're going to be speaking about that. And so I wanted to, and someone just asked, is it going to be recorded? Yes, it's going to be recorded, but you need to sign up at the Real Estate Marathon, therealestatemathon.com, so then we know to send you the recording. I don't expect anybody to be on there for 12 hours, except some of our raving fans who just love us and watch everything we do, and we appreciate you so much. But you're gonna get an agenda. Like literally, it's gonna say at 9:15 I'll be speaking to X. At 1:30 we'll be speaking about this. It is going to be a step-by-step process. I'm setting it up where the first thing we're going to speak about is maybe a little bit about why real estate. We're going to be bringing in real stories. That's another thing in the notes section you can put in. If you want to share your story about investing into real estate, not only with the REC, we're going to have approximately four segments where you're going to get on a Zoom webinar here. I think we make it quite easy in terms of a conversational style. And we're going to just talk about your story. Why? Because I just believe that your story will possibly inspire someone. And how nice is that? Right? And the coolest thing with real estate investors, I think it's the only group that is so open about sharing stories and success stories and results that they've had. So we're going to have four approximately real story segments. If you want to be on this webinar and on this real estate marathon, just put it in the notes. Say, I would love to share my story on XYZ.
Above and beyond it, guys, we have a pretty significant social media presence where you can really stay afloat with what we're doing. On Instagram, it's REC Canada. It's Jas Takhar. What's your handle? Jas Takhar 13 at 13 or
Jas
Takhar
13. Jas Takhar 13.
Jas Takhar 13. Mine is S Papailias. On Facebook, it's our names: Simeon, Papailias, Jas Takhar. If you hop on Facebook or Instagram, whatever it is you choose to use, or LinkedIn, we're there. We're going to be sharing all the links as we lead up to the event. We're going to be sharing content and stories, and it's just another tool you can use to get in touch with us. And again, you want to hop on. It's an outlet for everyone, and that's what this is truly about. We're looking at doing something very unique and that hasn't been done before. You're going to have a lot of fun with it. So I hope you enjoy it.
We are going to have a blast. The team is already putting things together. It's the realestatemarathon.com, 12 hours of non-stop real estate education, but more importantly, real estate tactics and helping you take action right away. Right away. There's going to be opportunities for you to initiate on deals right way, which I think is the most important, which is the difference maker between somebody who said, I wish I had, and I'm glad I did. Other than that, guys, what else we have to say before we sign off? Bobby, thank you for doing what you do. All joking aside, we had a blast doing this with you and you staying on today, but it really couldn't have been done without you. To everybody else on the REC media squad, thanks for putting these webinars together and then spicing them. If you haven't seen them, if you needed to go back to one of those 13 recordings, please go to Paula, don't get his head too big. It's hard to get it into the office.
That made my whole day, Paula. I'm out. Peace, guys. Peace. I'm out.
Yeah. When you go to the realestatemarathon.com, guys, if you after you submit, you'll get an opportunity to see all the brunches and all the past brunches we did. Shout out to the media squad. I know you guys are watching the recorded version of this. Shout out to our Tyler again, to Shem Sharif, to all of our 33 realtors, to Cheyenne, who helps with our pre-construction kind of process, to Luke Leeson, who does everything in terms of just helping out here at REC Canada, to Laura Stewart, who's our director of sales and marketing, to the team. And Simos, I never get to say it to you, my man. We're not going to be doing a webinar until the marathon. I've had a blast. I've had a blast with you, truly, because we started this brunch series at the start of a pandemic, not knowing what you and I were going to do from a company perspective. And all we did is we got out, we pressed played, and we were ourselves. And so for everybody who's watching, thank you for allowing us to be ourselves. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Simos, I'll let you sign it off, brother.
It's for me, it's always the same. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. It's the weekend. I hope with the people that you love, and I hope you're doing what you love. Just remember to spread love. It's your only responsibility and duty is to be a good citizen to yourself and to your neighbors. Right here, spread love, be good, do the best for yourself, and have fun. That's what this is all about. So we're all looking to grow together. Remember that you have friends right here. That's why you chose to be here. And I thank you for choosing to be here. That's it. Like always. Love you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Enjoy your Saturday.
Bobby.
Sorry, guys. I'm going to take the last word on this one.
Go.
I'm sorry, guys. For posterity's sake, this one, we never get to dedicate these things. This is for baby Nora and Tyler and Cass at home.
Yes.
Right? The world is just a little bit bigger now. And that little baby has the best dad that I can think of. Baby Nora.
Uncles. The best
uncles. Oh my God, all these uncles.
The best aunts. We got a lot of aunts for Nora.
All right. Baby Nora, this one was for you, love.
Bye, guys.